So today I'm going to show you how to create some lovely spring grape hyacinths. We're going to focus on complementary colours, so how to pull out the purple of the grape hyacinths as we go through. I am using a small bit of Saunders Waterford 5 by 7 inches, 3 brushes. I've got a round number 10, a round number 6 and a number 2 rigger. I've also got my trusty beginner's Cotman palette, which will be linked in the description, and we'll be using some of these colours which I'll talk you through as we go. So I'm going to wet the paper. Nice even coat, no puddles, no dry bits. We're going to get a nice base on to start with. We're talking about complementary colours, and we are looking at purple. So what shoots out purple? Complementary to purple is yellow. So this is going to be the base for our background. And then we'll have some other bits within there. So I've got whatever yellows I've got in here. So I am using cadmium yellow. So the Cotman palette, so it's semi-transparent, but gamboge will work very nicely. And I'm going to pop in some little dabs. I don't want these to be too strong. I have spritzed this palette because I've not used it for a while. So it's activated the colours a little bit and made them a bit damp. So there's a little bit of water here. I'm just using my round number 10 and just dabbing. Just creating some little shapes. It could be leaves, it could be other flowers. I want to base that yellow. I'm going to use a little bit of the lemon yellow as well. So I'm going to dab some of that in between. So you've noticed that I'm loading my brush up and then dabbing in. So I'm not taking just neat colour, there's water on the brush as well. I'm going to swap down now to my number 6. And we're going to come into some sap green. If you didn't have sap green, you could make your own green, that would be fine. I'm just going to start to bring in a little bit of a base. So upward strokes. It's going to start to give us those leaves. Using number 6, it doesn't go as far, and there's not as much water on the brush. I'm dipping in directly to the paint. Try and make it uneven so it's not too all together. You don't want it to look like freshly mown grass. You take a few different ways. Try to use the biggest brush possible for the job. Give my brush a little bit of a rinse out. I'm going to dip into some cerulean blue. So I'm not even thinking about the flowers at this stage. That will come later. Just giving us a lovely base. I'm just rinsing my brush out. I'm still in the cerulean blue, but I don't want to take the green in that I've just gone through. So I'm just going to dab through some of these a little bit. So just with a little bit of the cerulean blue. Just because the lemon yellow and the cadmium yellow make different greens. And I don't want to take the sap green into that. So I'm going to have a little bit of blue, a little bit of green appearing where it's mixing on the paper. Mixing on the paper is quite fun. We're getting a really nice background. So I need a bluey purple now. So I classically always go for rose. This is permanent rose. You could use, I've got purple lake there that I hardly ever use. We take a little bit of that in as well. And ultramarine blue. You're just going to go for the shade. There's bluer Grape Hyacinths and there's more purple ones. We're going to go for the purplier ones. And at this stage, I don't want this to be too strong, so I'm going to dab a little bit of water in. I'm just going to take a couple. These are going to be background ones. So when I'm dabbing into that yellow, I'm not mixing. I'm dabbing and leaving. If you mix, you can end up with a mucky brown. So you don't want that. You dab, you leave. These are going to be soft flowers in the background, so we don't need to worry too much. As long as they've got that sort of long triangle shape, they will work. Remember, you want them to be random. Okay, rinse that brush, dab off. I'm going to come back into the sap green. Now, at this stage, if this is dry, I don't want you to do this. If it's drying too much, you basically want to create some stems and leaves coming towards those hyacinths, but I don't want it to be too strong because we're going to come over with the next layer of colour. So you'll see that I've dabbed off my brush and I'm moving it around. I don't want it to be too strong. The key is just to keep it nice and dilute so that that's settling. The granulation from the ultramarine is starting to come through as well. So I'm going to dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry. We've got a really lovely base, nice and soft, nice and subtle. Now we're going to work on to dry and we're going to dab in with a little wet brush occasionally. So I've come back into that purple mix with my round number 6 and I'm going to just dab a little bit more. In my first Grape Hyacinth. So they get a little bit bigger as they get towards the bottom, a bit more pronounced. Then what I want you to do is just with a wet brush, I'm going to dip into the rose. I'm going to add a few dabs of the rose in. So whilst it's still wet, we're going to vary the colour a little bit on this Grape Hyacinth. So rinse my brush off, dab it off, load it up with water, and then a little bit of the ultramarine blue as well. We're just dropping that in, and it's going to run around a little bit within there. So you're going to have bits that are a bit more rose, bits that are a bit more pink. And then what you can do as well is just dab with a little bit of water. So this is just clean water. So this is giving another fluid look to it. You might dab a little bit in the middle and it's letting that paint run through. With my rigger, then I can just pick up a bit of sap green and pull this down. What I want is for it to feel connected whilst it's still wet. I'm just going to connect that through. You're going to get that connected feel. You want to lift as you're doing so you get a nice little taper happening there. Then with a little bit of the sap green on my round number 6, I can come in and create a couple of leaves. We'll do 3. Odd's always good. See how I've flicked upwards. Then if I dip into my cerulean blue, rinse my brush, I can bring some of that in to give different tone. That's my first one done. So we're going to repeat the process now. So make sure your brush is nice and clean. Going to come back into that purple mix, and we're going to do 3. And what you will need to do is make sure that you're varying the height of them, varying where they are, lighter strokes at the top, lighter pressure, and then it's getting bigger as it comes down. You want to vary the angle of them. You want to make sure you're not coming over all of the ones that you've just done in the background. You want a soft version and a hard version to be there. Odds always work better than evens, so that's why we're doing 3. 3 or 5. If you get into the process and really enjoy it, then by all means you can stick 5 in. So I've got my base there, rinse my brush off. I dab it off automatically, but you don't really need to because you're going straight into the rose. I'm just going to drop some of this in. So that's some of the rose in, then some of the ultramarine. Again, it's just giving you that variety. That variety of tone. You need to let it settle for a few seconds. You'll notice that I've paused on both of these because I don't want the paint to be so wet that when I do the dabbing with the wet brush that it runs too far. So I've just let it settle down a little bit. I've got quite a lot of paint in some of these. I'm actually going to take a little bit of that purple lake in, just to give it a bit of variety on this one. Purple lake's very similar to rose and cobalt blue. And then we're going to pick up my rigger again, which has still got the sap green on. And we're going to pull from the bottom with a flick. Again. Then we can just bring that through to connect. You can see it coming together. Flowers should be quite therapeutic. You're doing the same action and repeating that action. Now, if you're coming over this one and it's not quite dry, you need to make sure that the paint's quite thick. So that it doesn't run and watermark your last one. Or you can dry it in between. Take one this way. You see how I'm just making them totally random. These ones are totally different angles to the last ones, which is good because we need them to look different. Bit of the cerulean blue. So we've got 2 in. And then I'm going to come in and make a little bit more purple because I've run out. So that's rose and ultramarine blue. Okay, so this one, I'm going to go right the way over here. We're going to do it a little bit more slanty. So each of these are going to look different because we're going quite fluid. So a little bit strong, I'm just putting a little bit of water in. That's that shape there. Take a little bit of water onto my clean brush and then dab into the rose. Just take a little bit of that in. Rinse my brush off. Dab into the ultramarine blue. rinse my brush off, dab into some clean water, let it settle a minute. Then I can just drop that clean water in places. Gives it a lovely looseness, a lovely fluidity and variety, which are all things that you want to happen when you're doing your pieces of work. I'm actually going to bring this one a little bit further down and a little bit further up with the water. It seems a little bit solid, so by dabbing in a little bit more and making it less solid, then I'm going to get my sap green on my rigger again and bring that through. Connecting up those bits. Round number 6 into my sap green. And we're going to pop in a few leaves. I'm going to add in a couple of extra leaves now. Bring that one behind. Bring that one behind. So if you're worried about these blending together, then make sure you can dry them in between. I quite like the fluidity of them blending together a little bit. Give my brush a rinse, dab it off a tiny bit, and I'm going to come into some cerulean blue just to bring through some of these. Okay, I'll dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry now. I'm just going to do a tiny little bit more. There's just an element that's not quite connected, and it's around here. So if I take a little bit of the yellow and a little bit of the sap green together with my round number 6, I just want some lighter background leaves. So I'm just taking a few through. Now this is just stopping this bit here feeling like it's floating more than anything, but because you need to create a little bit of balance with it, you can't just stick it in one place. I'm going to take a few through. So really all I'm doing now is thinking that bit looked a little bit floaty, so I'm going to just sort it by popping in a few more leaves to ground those flowers in the background. I like the light, I don't want to lose the light. You can see that's just stopped it floating, so I'll dry that one off. So there we go, so that's all finished. I've taken the tape off and you can see there's a few different techniques in there, but the use of the complementary colour, the yellow and the purple, really shoots those forwards. So it's lovely to be back into spring and doing all of these spring flowers. If you've enjoyed this one, I'll pop a link here to some daffodils so you can have a go at that.